As you know, I think Bitcoin is going to be money. Now, I want to know, do you think it's not going to be money, right? And if you do think so, I want you to comment in the comment section below. I want you to tell me why you think it's not going to be money. I think it's going to be money, and it's going to be worth millions of dollars each Bitcoin in the future. So, if that's the case, right, why aren't you buying some? And why do you not think it's not going to be money when no one can mess with it, no one can change the algorithm? It'll always be 21 million Bitcoin, so that means your value is always going to go up. So I think you should get some.
And for those who don't know, this is Da Vinci J, Da Vinci Jeremy. He has his own YouTube channel. You can go ahead and check it out. But basically, he's a Bitcoin OG. This is the same guy that was telling everybody to buy Bitcoin at $1. Imagine if you bought Bitcoin at $1 right now. If you bought $10 worth, you'd have 10 Bitcoins for $1, and those 10 Bitcoins right now would be worth over $300,000 because Bitcoin right now is at $30,000 and he's still telling you to buy it. He hasn't shied away. He's sitting there saying Bitcoin can go to millions of dollars. And the writing's on the wall. We see that regulation is getting put in place as far as how the crypto industry should be regulated and looked across the entire industry. Bitcoin's already been deemed a commodity from the federal government. And also we see that the spot Bitcoin ETF could be passing soon, coupled with the 2024 halving. This could cause a huge impulse for the price of Bitcoin. With the halving, you have institutional adoption. They're going to gobble up all the Bitcoin from the exchanges and make it even more scarcer than what it already is, because that's big money. That's not retail money. Then you got retail FOMO that will come back in when Bitcoin hits new all-time highs and starts to trend towards 100,000. We want you to think about this. When Bitcoin gets closer near to $100,000, who's going to be thinking about it? Literally everybody in the world. And this could cause a surplus, a shock in the price like we've never seen before with Bitcoin. As you see here, the IMF cautions against crypto as legal tender, but the biggest crypto exchange in the Western world, Coinbase, disagrees. In a recent announcement, the IMF opposed conferring the official currency or legal tender status to crypto, and Coinbase thinks otherwise, lauding crypto for driving money forward. So there's a big difference between the International Monetary Fund and Coinbase. Why? Because they control the money. Bitcoin being adopted is a decentralized technology that they have no control over. They can't control your money. So opt out of the system, because they're probably going to try to, put some little tricks and throw some wrenches in the game until adoption fully occurs. You see here in Namibia, they're signing crypto exchange regulation into law. The law will officially enter into force at a date determined, it hasn't been determined yet, by the Namibia's Ministry of Finance. So this is in Africa. You see that's going on here. And then here in the US, Bitcoin proposed to become legal tender in Arizona. This is a few months back, but still this happened this year. You see what's going on. This is just a couple instances, but adoption across the world is happening. If you don't get it, you don't get it. If you see what's going on, I think you should buy some Bitcoin, not financial advice. And with that, what's happening, Crypto Crew? Sean's coming back at you, another cryptocurrency video. Continuing, check out this clip right here.
And crucially, Frank, there is a technical event called the halvening coming up next April, which typically marks the start of a bull run for Bitcoin.
And you see this here. They're talking about the halvening already. We're about 260 days from the halving, and people are getting excited. Coupled with all these major news events that's going to be happening with the spot ETF, crypto regulation clarity, the big boys coming to play, retail investors getting back into the space when FOMO sets back in. Once again, this is pointing towards the upside for Bitcoin. It's only 21 million. Have you had your fair share? And then an update from the Rational Root. The halving is still in progress, 81%. As you see, every time we hit this 81% threshold, before we hit that halving to 100%, just up and to the right. And right now, we were going sort of sideways. We had this fall down from the pandemic dump, but then up and to the right. And right now, we don't know how this is going to look from here until then. We could trend upwards like we did back here in 2016, going into the 2024 halving, or we could just trade sideways and lull out. Either way, just keep stacking sats and keep piling, because after the halving, you see what happens. Blast off, blast off, blast off. Halving 4 If history's any indication, this time won't be different. And Stock Money Lizards, he agrees with that sentiment. This time will not be different. As you look back in 2014, we hit a peak, we base out, bottom out, then break through the previous base, blast off. Peak, base out, bottom out, then break through the previous base, retest, blast off. Peak, base out, bottom out. Then we haven't broke through this base yet, but as you see, we could break up, come back, flip resistance to support, and then have that continuation to the upside. This time will not be different. Another update from Stock Money Lizards. The outlook on the pre-halving period, resistance and consolidation, summer to 2023. And you see that right here. We see this consolidation, just like back in 2014 and 2017. The breakout in 2023 year-end target, 40 to 50K. We could have that blast up to the upside the same way we did here. Didn't get back up to the near all-time high, but then we have a cool off going into the halving. Retest 35 to 40K, that's right here. The same way we had this retest here and before ultimately blasting up to the upside. Bullish, bullish, bullish for Bitcoin. And then another update from CryptoCon. In March 2020, the Black Swan event crashed. They bought as much Bitcoin as they possibly could. One single person stuck it out with me and bought a whole Bitcoin. We sold it at 54K together in April 21. He's using the MVRV, top call. Every single time that this happens, we put stair step our way up, then you can use this for a peak. Stair step its way up, another peak. Stair step its way up, another peak. And look right here. This was 2020, 2021. Stair step its way up, another peak. Well, look, we have the MVRV here, and we're just starting this stair step to the upside. Once we see that we're near this red and get back into this red zone, that is your sell opportunity. You could have sold each top. This is around the peak back in April 2021. The peak there, double peaks there. This is definitely a good tool set to go off of. If you don't get it, you don't get it. If you do, you do. But right now in this green area, this was the time for accumulation. And even coming out of this green area, we're still around this blue line. There's only going to be a certain amount of time until Bitcoin just blasts up to the upside and has that mid-cycle peak. Will that mid-cycle peak hit 50, 60,000? That's definitely a possibility that could be in the cards. But as you see, blasting up like this from the upside, you see we just stair step our way up and the price just stair steps its way up and further gets away from this blue line until it hits that ultimate peak in the sell zone. So this is what you have to pay attention to. Once again, this is lookintobitcoin.com. You can find this MVRV Z-score here and definitely check it out. They have other charts as well, but this is one of the better ones. You can sit here and see. It shows you when to buy and it shows you when to sell. It's pretty simple. Don't get caught up with the fluctuations in between the price action. You see the green areas is accumulation areas anywhere down here. When this orange line spikes up near this red, you want to be thinking about selling every single time. And with that, I'm Sean with the Bitcoin Bros. You guys like this content, go ahead and smash the like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and show us some love. We appreciate the support. With that, that's all I have for you today. And I'm out.